this is the challenge that we all have, is to communicate and to cut through. And I tell you what, David is a man who has cut through, especially over the last 2 years, since all this COVID nonsense began. But let's not forget, he was already working hard for a very long time before that as well. David has been one of our best allies alongside Tim Quilty in the Victorian Parliament since all this COVID nonsense began. And he is a worthy person to send to Canberra to represent Victorians at the federal level going forward. So would you please put your hands together and give a very warm welcome to David Limbrick, MP.
Thank you so much, Topher. And thanks to everyone for coming here today. Now, before I start, has everyone here seen Battleground Melbourne documentary? If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it, because Topher did a wonderful job and there were some wonderful actors in it, if I do say so myself. I think it's pretty fair to say that this is the first event of its size that the Liberal Democrats has ever run, and this is a sign of, you know, just how big our party is getting now. And for some reason, there's been a lot of people who are really good at organising events joining our party, and I think one of the things that I've spoken to many of our new members and supporters about is they feel like they've been getting bullied. And like many of us, they've had enough of being bullied. Over the last 2 years, the government has been bullying everyone. And which government, you might think? All of them. The federal government and the state governments have both been bullying people. But the thing is, the more that people have been bullied, the more that they've been looking around at who is standing up to the bullies. And that's what the Liberal Democrats have been doing. The more that people have been bullied, the bigger our party has grown. I think that the tide is turning now. We're turning into almost an army of people who support freedom, and that army is growing. Our membership numbers, our media reach, and even some polling that I've seen all suggest huge growth in the party's popularity recently. And I'm hopeful that we can get that through to the federal election campaign, and then later in the year to the state election campaign. The governments expect us to forget about what's happened over the last 2 years. They keep drip feeding us back our freedoms. They tell us they're giving us freedoms. But as I've said many, many times before, people don't forget the name of their bully. When you get bullied around, you remember it forever. And I know that many of you here have been bullied by the government. The Liberal Democrats are Australia's only legitimate freedom party, and we've been doing this for over 20 years. We're consistent on defending liberty. We'll never vote for a decrease in freedom or an increase in taxes. Every MP that's ever been elected has committed to that and stuck to it. But more than that, we're willing to stand up against the bullies. I believe that we're born with freedoms and that the government only takes them away. With your help, we can send more Liberal Democrats to Canberra, once again to get federal representation, to have a voice for liberty in federal parliament. This is what we're trying to do today, to launch this campaign, to get me and other candidates up in the federal parliament so that we have a voice in federal parliament after May. So thank you everyone for coming, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you very much. David Limbrick, MP, soon to be Victorian Senator, going to Canberra on our behalf. Boy, am I looking forward to that.